Hello, Paul here, and welcome to another trip. Today I'm going to be traveling from Redmond, Oregon to Seattle, Washington on Delta Airlines on an Embraer 175. And as you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful day here in Redmond, Oregon, so come along for the ride. Just a reminder, if you like videos about travel, go ahead and click that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. I'd really appreciate it. And also any feedback that you might have about the video, what you like, what you didn't like, anything like that, thumbs up, thumbs down, feel free to comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Would greatly appreciate it. So let's go along for our little flight to Seattle from Redmond, Oregon. This is Records Travels. Let's take a trip. Today I'm going to be flying from Redmond, Oregon to Seattle, Washington, which is a very short flight, just 227 miles, and it'll be covered in 45 minutes. Passengers departing out of the Redmond Bend area leave from Roberts Field, which is a small municipal airport in the heart of Central Oregon. This facility serves approximately 350,000 passengers annually and is served by 7 carriers. Most of the service is up and down the West Coast, but there is seasonal service on United that will take you as far as Chicago. Just taking a look around the terminal, you can see that it's a really beautiful, bright, open, and spacious facility that doesn't give you the typical airport experience feeling at all. And I really like the rocking chairs where people can wait for arriving passengers. And here's a quick look at the check-in area where you can see the major carriers are represented, where you can drop your bag and also print off a copy of your boarding pass. So here's a look inside the passenger waiting area, and you'll notice a couple of things. First of all, that all the seats are pointed in the same direction facing the runway, and that it's relatively crowded. I would recommend, if you notice this staircase once you pass through security, to head up to the top of those stairs because you'll find a much better experience waiting for you. The first thing I noticed at the top of the stairs was that I had a much better view of the runway. At the ground level you're looking out, you really can't see, but up top you get a much better view to see the planes coming in. There's also a bar and a small restaurant where you can get a bite to eat and a drink, and as you can see, basically had the place to myself. There was only just a few other people up there, so it was much more comfortable. And checking the board, I could see that my flight was going to be departing fairly soon, and as I sat up there, I waited to see if I could actually see it come in, and sure enough, here it comes. This is the Embraer 175 on Delta Connection, operated by Compass Airlines, arriving from Seattle here into the Roberts Field Airport in Redmond, Oregon. And here it is pulling up to the gate. Time to head downstairs and get ready to board.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, how are you? Good, how are you? There you go. Door 7.
Off to Seattle. Now, I know I've said this before, but it is really true that the moments leading up to boarding the actual plane are always very exciting. I always can't wait to get on board and get the journey underway, so let's go. So this Embraer 175 has a 1-2 configuration in first and a 2-2 in economy, and for this flight I'm seated in seat 2D in the first class cabin. Awaiting for me was a bottle of Dasani water along with a pillow and a blanket for this short flight. Any fans of the University of Montana out there? Here's an Alaska Airlines Q400 painted in the Grizz livery. Taking a look at the legroom at this seat, you'll notice 37 inches of pitch gives you plenty of legroom. A 21-inch wide seat is nice and comfortable, but there is no in-flight entertainment system, so bring your own. Or take a look out the window because you're going to see some spectacular scenery on this flight.
Please prepare doors for departure.
And so one of the reasons that I really like this particular flight is that it's very short. It's only about 45 minutes to Seattle, and it offers you really spectacular views of four of the largest volcanoes in the Cascade Range. And we'll see those very, very soon. But first, let's enjoy the scenery of the takeoff here from Roberts Field in Redmond, Oregon. And even though it's a very short flight, right after takeoff, the flight attendants come around and provide a beverage and snack service. And it's not long until you see the first volcano appear off the side of the plane. This is Mount Hood, which soars over 11,000 feet tall and is characterized by its very sharp peak just east of Portland, Oregon. Soon after crossing the Columbia River, you can see three other volcanoes appear in view: Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Adams. Mount St. Helens is probably the most notorious of these three for its eruption that happened in 1980. It really is a treat to be able to see these volcanoes from above. It's just an amazing perspective. And here's another look at Mount St. Helens with Mount Adams lurking in the background. And as we zoom in, you can actually see the crater that was the result of that 1980 eruption that permanently altered the appearance of this mountain. In that eruption, 57 people also lost their lives. As we approach Seattle, Mount Rainier becomes a lot more visible. You can see it's the tallest of the Cascade volcanoes at just over 14,000 feet in elevation. We also hit a perspective where we're able to see all four volcanoes in one view, which is pretty spectacular. So you can see Mount Rainier, Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Hood just poking up just behind Mount St. Helens off in the far distance. For people who live in the Seattle area, the sight of Mount Rainier off the side of the plane is always a welcome sign, letting you know that you're just about home. As we pass by the Seattle airport, that tells us we're going to be heading out over downtown Seattle, making a sweeping turn and landing from the north today. Unfortunately, the views were kind of obscured by some of these lower clouds. But here we are coming in the industrial area just south of downtown. And by the time we touch down at SeaTac, you can see we've got mostly sunny skies. And as this aircraft taxis towards the gate, I want to take this opportunity to again thank you for watching and invite any comments or feedback that you might have for me in terms of the quality of this video or suggestions that you might have. But again, thanks for coming along, and it's an honor to be able to share my travel journeys with you. Thank you.